Hey everyone, Linda here from ITTT, back again this week for another live session. Welcome. You might notice a different background today, and we're also live at a very different time than normally because I'm actually in Germany right now, back in my hometown for a couple of weeks, visiting family and friends. Whereas usually I'm back in South Korea, but now for a couple of weeks I'm going to be in Germany, so things are going to look a little bit different around here, but don't worry. We're back. Everything's normal. So thank you so much for joining. Maybe because this is a different time, I'm going to have a lot more newer viewers, perhaps. So welcome. If you're seeing me for the first time, hi, my name is Linda. I'm here for ITTT. And yeah, first off, I always say don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our upcoming live sessions. This is a weekly thing, except for the last 2 weeks that I was off. And yeah, also let me know in the comment section, where are you watching from right now? Leave a comment down below. We're actually live on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time right now. So feel free to leave a comment and tell me where you're watching from today, what the time is there. I'm really curious because, like I said, this is a very unusual time for me to go live normally. So I'm very curious as to where you guys are from today and see if it's any different than normally. But yeah, I'm also going to give you guys a brief introduction about who I am and what I do, because I think we have a couple of new people here. Hi, Kiki. How are you doing? From India. Cool. We have Rahul from India. Okay. Nice. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. That's great. All right. I'm just going to also right off the bat, sharing this right now. Always during our live sessions, we have a 30% off opportunity off of all TEFL and TESOL courses from ITTT. So what you can do is you can scan this QR code right here, or I'm also going to leave a link for you guys in the comments. It ends with FB Live minus Linda, and then you know it's the correct link, and this will get you 30% off any TEFL or TESOL course from ITTT that you're interested in. All right, very cool. We also have Jing here from the Philippines, and Pedro. Hi, it's been a while. It has. Okay, we have Lee from the Philippines. We have Amitava. How are you doing? 5 p.m. in Kolkata. Normally it's very early for you, right, when I go live. Yeah. Long time no see for 2 weeks. I know. So like I said, maybe you've missed that in the beginning. I'm staying in Germany right now. That's why the background is different. That's why the time is different for the stream. Excuse me. Visiting family, and I'm going to be here for a couple of weeks more. So we're going to see us maybe at a similar time next week as well. Pedro says it's early in the morning. I'm sorry, Pedro. I apologize. Yeah, so things are a little bit different this week, but we're going to make it work. Because I think today is also going to be a really interesting topic. But first off, if anybody's watching this and is new, I just want to introduce myself real quick, and maybe I can do it. Yeah, maybe like this. Or is this weird? Well, anyway, and keep your comments coming in the comment section where you're watching from. But my name is Linda, and I'm a travel writer, content creator, also language teacher. And that side of things is under the name Linda Goes East. And if you're interested in living in Asia, teaching English in Asia specifically, I highly recommend you check out lindagoeseast.com, my personal website, and also on Instagram at Linda Goes East. I'm very active over there as well, as many of you know, and I really appreciate you guys always checking what I'm up to. And yeah, I'm originally from Germany and the US. My mom is German, my dad's American, and right now I am in Germany, but I'm usually based in South Korea. So for summer vacation, I am spending my time here in Germany right now. And I'm also a TEFL and TESOL marketing professional. That's why I'm here for you guys doing these live sessions for ITTT. And ITTT stands for International TEFL and TESOL Training. As many of you guys know, many of you guys are graduates of our courses, so you might be familiar, some of you might not. So this is also really good and a great opportunity to kind of learn more a little bit about what ITTT does. But yeah, our website is teflcourse.net, and we are a leading TEFL and TESOL course provider worldwide. We've been around for many years, since the 1990s, and we are operating worldwide. So there you go. Let's have a look at the comments. Yes, so Amitava says, by the way, Linda, where are you in Germany visiting your motherland? I am. So I am in the south. It's kind of an hour from Munich. So that's where I am. And Lee says, 30% off is a great deal. Grab this opportunity. I got my certification in 2018. Oh, congratulations. Thanks for saying that. Lee, I appreciate that. Yes, and 30% off is really a great deal. We only share this big discount during our live sessions. You're not going to find this anywhere else. So it's definitely a great opportunity, and you should grab it if you're not yet certified and you're thinking about pursuing this career. So yeah. Oh, and Jinx is happy to tell I'm in my last unit of 120 hours course. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. Almost done. Wow. That's sweet to celebrate, Jing. That's amazing. Perfect, Jing. Congratulations. All right. Thank you, Lee. All right. Let's see. Yes, so today's topic is all about those people who want to teach English abroad, but you don't have any experience. You come from a totally different field, but you're like, hey, I hear so much about teaching English abroad and TEFL and TESOL, and I really want to do it. I want to go abroad. I want to change my life. I want to do something totally different, but I don't have any experience. So that is what we're going to talk about today, how it's possible and tips and tricks. So there we go. Rahul says, I'm going to Thailand for job hunting, completed this July. Oh my God, that's so exciting. Wow. Good luck for your job search. It's going to be amazing. I love Thailand. One of the best places. I'm going to mention Thailand today as well. So great place to go. Yes, my time is 1:37 right now. Yes, so about an hour from Munich. It's in a town called Augsburg. It's also a bigger city, so that's where I am. Okay, good. Then shall we jump in? Also at the end, I do have a Q&A for anyone who wants to ask questions not related to today's topic, maybe more about our courses, about anything else. You can do that at the end as well, but also always feel free to just jump in and leave a comment when you have a question right away. And then I am keeping an eye on the comments, but I am doing this alone. There are no admins or like helpers or anything. So please be patient and mindful about that. But without further ado, we're just going to jump in, and let me see. I'm going to make myself, I think, maybe like this. Yeah, this should work. So let's see. First off, teaching English abroad without any experience, there is some really, really, really good news. And that is that the demand for English teachers outstrips the supplies. So that means there are a lot more positions than English teachers to fill them with. So that means that a lot of employers, they can't be picky when it comes to candidates, and they oftentimes do take teachers without any experience. So that is really, really good news for us who are new to this and who are just jumping in and getting started without any prior experience. So that's the first thing I want to say and that you should know and be aware of. Hi, Paria from Iran. How are you doing? Or Paria, maybe Paria. All right, so yeah, huge demand all over the world. Let's look at where exactly you can go and teach English abroad without any experience. And as you can see, I prepared this world map for you, and there's so many pins in there. So really, in all corners of the world, you can go and teach English. And yeah, really from Asia, the Middle East, Middle East, actually not too much, because they do have stricter requirements. So a lot of times they do want people with experience, actually. But what a lot of people are doing, if you really want to go to the Middle East, you could start in North Africa or in Asia and get a couple of years of experience, and then move to the Middle East. But also, as you can see, Europe is on there, and then also America, North, South America, Central America. So a lot of places where you can go and teach. Also, maybe side note here, because Africa is quite blank, it doesn't have any pins in it. But if you really want to go and teach English in Africa, there are a lot of positions that are mostly volunteer teaching positions, and they are unpaid. So I only put up basically paid positions, but note that Africa definitely has lots of opportunities for people without any experience, but most of them will be unpaid. But there are also a lot of opportunities there. Cool. Then we have Ricardo from the Dominican Republic. Hi, Ricardo. Thanks for joining. And we have Lorado. Hi, Lorado. Yes, it is 1:40 p.m. here too. I am in Germany right now, so that's why we have a different time today. Might be better for you, right? Normally it is like 3 a.m. Lorado when you're watching this, so might be better for you this time. But yeah, I'm staying in Germany for a couple of weeks, so we have this time right now going on. So yeah, this is the demand and where you can teach English abroad without any experience. As you can see, the options are pretty much endless, right? Lots of options, lots of good stuff here. And also, the next thing I want to show you is this sheet. And I actually prepared this for you guys so you can, let's see. I'm going to share this with you because this is really going to be very useful for a lot of you guys. So I'm going to share it in the comments section. You can copy and paste this link and then check out this sheet. And I'm just going to share that sheet with you and kind of explain a little bit about what this sheet is. So basically, this sheet says where you can teach English with no experience, but it also shows you a lot more. So if you're looking at this sheet, what you can do is you open it, and then what you will do is you go to File, and then you can say, click on Make a Copy, and then you can save this on your own computer, your own version, and then you can also edit it, okay? So anyways, this is what the sheet looks like, and it's sorted. It has a couple of tabs here. The first one is Asia, and then we have Europe, we have South and Central America, and we have the Middle East and Africa. So I hope you can see this, right? Yes. So here are all the countries, and then there are a couple of columns here. For example, whether or not a degree is required, the average monthly salary of this country, the start of the terms of the start of the school year, and then this column highlighted in green is interesting for today's topic. So whether or not you need teaching experience, okay? So you'll notice that most countries, they do say no, or preferred, or yes. Here, Mongolia says yes. No. And then also other interesting information for your job search, okay? So if you're at the beginning of your job search, you're not quite sure yet, maybe, oh, which country do you want to go to? You can just click here and browse all of the countries and be like, oh yeah, so I don't have a degree and I don't have experience, where can I go? And then you just see, okay, degree required. Where was it? No. Cambodia, no. And no teaching experience. So yeah, I can apply in Cambodia, for example. Or if you have a degree, you can also look at these. Yes, and no teaching experience. So you can apply to all of these countries. So that's a very useful sheet for your job search, and that will really help you and be super useful. So again, what you can do is you just click on File and then make a copy, and then you can rename it or just keep the same name, and then it will save it in your own drive, and you can edit it, you can work on it, and you can just keep it for later. So I just think that this is very useful for you guys, and I wanted to share that with you. That will make your job search maybe a little bit easier. All right. If you have any questions about the sheet, feel free to leave it in the comments, and then I'm just going to help you, and we can figure it out together. But yeah, this is the sheet. And then you can figure out where you might be able to teach. And then let's jump into 4 tips for finding a TEFL job abroad without teaching experience. There are 4 tips, or also kind of 4 steps, maybe rather 4 steps. That what do you need to do to find a teaching job abroad without any teaching experience? Okay. So first, of course, if you don't have any teaching experience, what you can do to dramatically enhance your chances is to get TEFL or TESOL certified. And what you want to have is at least a 120-hour TEFL or TESOL qualification from an accredited course provider, like ITTT, for example. So 120 hours, if you don't know, is basically the international minimum and the international standard. 120 hours means 120 hours of study. This particular course at ITTT, the 120-hour course, consists of 20 units. Who mentioned that they're in the last unit now? Yes, Jing. She's currently working on it. Many of you guys have already worked through this course, so you know what I'm talking about. But this is basically the international minimum for a English teaching position. You want to have at least 120 hours of training. This is a requirement for many employers, but also for many teaching programs, like the JET program in Japan, the EPIC program in Korea, and so on. They all want at least a 120-hour certification. And then it's also very beneficial to take specialized TEFL courses to just kind of narrow down your niche. So, for example, teaching English online, teaching business English, or young learners, so children. And especially, I think business English and young learners is very, very useful. And then, of course, if you're also interested in teaching English online, the Teaching English Online course, you can also add that on. But teaching children and business English are basically the biggest fields when it comes to teaching English in class and abroad. So having those 2 as well is very, very useful. And you're going to see if you go to our website, for example, teflcourse.net, and you apply for a 120-hour TEFL course, and you pick the version with tutor support, because there are 2 versions. One is with a tutor and one is without. And if you pick the version with tutor support, you actually get to choose 1 free course. So one of these 3 you can actually pick for free. So then you already have the 120-hour course and already a specialization course. So there you go. And yeah, I also listed some of our other course options down below here, just for reference, what other options there are. I'm also going to go into these a little bit later. But yeah, as you can see, the 120-hour TEFL course, and basically that the green price is the price with today's 30% off discount code. So you can really save a lot. If you look at the numbers here, it's actually regular price $249, but then with the code, you actually save a lot, and it's only down to $174. So there we go. Hi, Crystalline, how are you doing? So yeah, another popular option is the 220-hour master package, for example, which is the 120-hour course plus business English and young learners together. That's also what I took when I started out with my TEFL journey, and that's the course that I always recommend if you want to do this as a long-term career for several years, not just a year or 2 and you want to go back home. Then I think investing in the 220-hour master package course is a great idea. Tural says, it is very bad. I've bought 249. Oh no, you should have tuned in earlier. That's why I always say like and subscribe so you get updated and you don't miss any of our live sessions, because we only share this code in our live sessions. So next time, maybe for a follow-up course, you can use this code Tural. I apologize. And yeah, there's also a 470-hour professional package, 550-hour expert package. We're going to go into these a little bit later, but just so you see kind of what we have on offer here. But I think most people, they do start out with the 120-hour course or the 220-hour course, unless you really, people who maybe don't have a university degree. If you are maybe a non-native English speaker, then you should get higher hours. But yeah, that's so the first step. Get TEFL or TESOL certified. And maybe as a side note, for some people who might be watching this for the first time, we mentioned here TEFL, but TESOL is also, yeah, great. So Ricardo, that's actually what I want to explain right now, because I think we have a lot of new viewers. So let me make myself bigger here, maybe like this, and explain this to you. So you're going to hear a lot of terms like TEFL and TESOL. Yeah, here. So maybe this would be a good question to answer. What is the difference between TEFL and TESOL, right? What Ricardo asked as well, what does TEFL mean? So TEFL stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. And then TESOL, T-E-S-O-L, stands for Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. So the terms slightly have a different meaning, but nowadays they are used interchangeably. They mean the same thing. The only difference is that TEFL is more commonly used in Europe, in the UK, and in North America and in Australia, people just call it TESOL more. So that's the only difference. But the course is exactly the same units, the same content, everything is the same. It just comes down to personal preference, whether you call it TEFL or TESOL, but they are the same thing. So that's what it is. And a TEFL certificate is a certificate that allows you to teach English abroad in other countries professionally to foreigners, to speakers of other languages, for example. I hope that makes sense. Oh, Crystalline says, got through 5 of the 6 courses. They are great. Amazing, Crystalline. Congratulations. Keep it up. Sam says, do you recommend getting a bachelor's or master's in TEFL TESOL? Well, I think it depends on what your future goals are, right? I don't think I can answer that. It all comes down to what you want to do with your degree. If a bachelor's degree is enough or a master's degree. But I mean, you need to have a bachelor's before you get a master's anyway. So get your bachelor's first and then see if a master's degree is something that you want to pursue or not, maybe. So good. Bachelor, yeah. Okay, maybe the question is a bachelor's enough, or do you need a master's degree? Bachelor's degree is usually enough for teaching English abroad. You most of the time do not have to have a master's degree. There are some exceptions. If you want to teach, for example, at international schools, or in places like the Middle East, more competitive places, they do prefer people with masters. Or if you want to teach at a university, for example. But for just regular TEFL TESOL abroad, a bachelor's degree is sufficient. And it also does not have to be in English or in teaching at all. It can be any major, typically. So for example, me, I have a bachelor's degree in management. And with a TEFL, paired with a TEFL, that is totally fine, and you can teach English abroad with that as well. Okay, I saw Union Hong Kong advertising TEFL TESOL degrees. There are TEFL and TESOL degrees for sure, and if you have that, that's a huge plus as well, right? That's a huge plus, right? But a lot of people, they have any kind of bachelor's degree, can be in anything, and then a TEFL or TESOL certificate on top of that, and that's also enough for teaching English abroad. But a degree in TEFL TESOL is definitely amazing and a huge plus as well. And you might be earning a higher salary then, but it's not necessary to do this, to go abroad and teach, to have a bachelor's or a master's in TEFL TESOL. Okay, let me have some water. That was a lot of talking now for a couple minutes. All right. And thank you guys so much for answering each other's questions in the comments as well. I really appreciate it. And being so active in the comments, I really like, I like it that way. I like having conversation between you guys and me, and not just me talking and like giving a lecture. I don't really like that. So please don't be shy. Leave some comments, whatever it is, and your questions, and then this can be a really good live session. Okay, so number 1, get TEFL certified. Step 1. Let's see. I'm going to do it this way so you can read this better, I think, on the slides. Step 2 would be choosing a destination. Choosing a destination. So Asia, South America, Southern and Eastern Europe are great options if you don't have any teaching experience. All right, especially Asia. And as you can see, the point 2 here, the biggest TEFL job markets in the world can be found in China, Japan, South Korea, Thailand, Vietnam, and others. But those are the biggest teaching markets in the world, especially China. Then we have Japan and South Korea. They also have these government-funded programs. So, for example, Japan has the JET program, which goes through the government and hires English teachers and then places them into public schools. And South Korea has a very similar program called EPIC, but they do the same thing. So they're very popular programs, and they hire a lot of English teachers every year, but you don't have to go through this program. You can also go through, you can do your own job search, or you can go through a recruiter and then work for a private school. That's also very common. And then Thailand and Vietnam in Southeast Asia, very popular places as well. They've been hiring English language teachers for probably 20 years. Thailand more longer than Vietnam, but definitely both of them are hiring a lot of English teachers into their schools. So those are really, really good countries to go to. And many countries, they require teachers to have a bachelor's degree. So it's important to do your research about the requirements and to make sure you're eligible. That's why I shared with you the sheet, right? This sheet here. So you can see which countries, where do you need a degree, where don't you need a degree, if you don't have one, or teaching experience or whatever, all the requirements. So this is a very useful sheet. And if you're just tuning in and you don't have the sheet, you can just go back to kind of the first 10 minutes where I shared this, or you check the comments for a link to this sheet. But that's going to be very, very useful for your research, so you know where you can go and where you can't go. All right. Yeah, we have a question here about the difference between TEFL and TESOL, and I just explained this a couple of minutes ago. So you can just rewind a little bit and see that there. Or you go to teflcourse.net, and we have an FAQ section that explains that very, very well. But the difference is there is no real difference. They are the same. TEFL and TESOL is the same. The only difference is the countries that use the terms. So like I said, in Europe and UK, people call it TEFL. And in North America and places like New Zealand and Australia, they call it TESOL. So that's the only difference. But other than that, they are the same. Just quick answer here. So that is that. So number 1 was getting TEFL certified. And then number 2 is choosing a destination, okay? A destination that works for you, that you like, that you're interested in, and also that you fulfill the requirements for. So make sure that that is all good and set up. And then we can move over to number 3. So once you're ready, once you know where you want to apply to, and of course, with, again, choosing a destination, you don't have to stick to just one country, right? You can apply for as many positions in as many countries as you want, and then compare and pick and choose the best offer, right? Don't have to stick to one. But it's just good to have a kind of an idea of where you want to go, and then the requirements, and make sure that you fulfill the requirements before you apply. Or if you apply in a country where, for example, they only hire people with a bachelor's degree, but you don't have a bachelor's degree, you're going to get rejected probably. I mean, I always say try anyway, and apply, but it might be a waste of time. If it's clear that, hey, you cannot do this if you don't have a bachelor's degree, then you might have to pick a different destination. So yeah, again, preparing your TEFL CV or resume would be the next step. So here's my example CV for what it could look like, and it might look a little bit differently from depending on what country you are from. For example, in North America, people do not put a lot of personal information on a resume, so you wouldn't even see a picture on there. But for teaching English abroad, most of the time you do have to include a lot more personal information than you might be used to. So there is a photo on it, there is your birthday on it. In some extreme cases, you might even have to tell them your height and things like that. So yeah, that can happen. But so do your research, and you're also going to get actually support for your TEFL resume and CV from ITTT. Once you have completed your course, we will help you do that. So you're not really left alone with that, but just so that you know. And yeah, as always with any resume, of course, there's no room for errors, no spelling errors, grammar errors, because you are applying to be an English teacher. So there should be no typos, there should be no grammar errors and anything like that. You should also include any contact details, your email address, telephone number, your address, date of birth, things like that. And include a professional photo of yourself. So if you don't have a professional photo, you need to go and take one. That's very, very important. You can't just use any Instagram photo that you have or a selfie. That is not a good look. So invest in some good headshots, some good professional photos, and make sure that you look, the best that you can. And it's, of course, also important to list all of your skills and qualifications. Any language skills that you have, if you speak any other languages than English, that's a huge plus. Maybe you even speak or started learning the language of the country that you're applying to. That's a huge plus. That's really, really good. And they love to see that. Any kind of experience that you have abroad, if you spend some time abroad, you should also put that on there. And any experience related to teaching, of course, or leading a group would be also a good advantage, or tutoring or anything like that. Or if you were like a summer camp, you worked in a summer camp, or you did something, I don't know, in your community helping children or anything like that, you can put it on there if you don't have any teaching experience. And just circling back to the point about experience abroad. So like I said, it's very important to put that on there if you have experience abroad, and maybe even if you've traveled to 10 different countries, you can put that on there, because the worst thing that could happen to a school or an employer that hires you from abroad is that you arrive in that country and then you have a huge culture shock, you can't adjust, and then you quit and you go back home. That's their worst nightmare. That's their fear. So they want to make sure that you are a person who, who doesn't do that. So who can adjust to a new culture, a new country. That's very important to them, because hiring someone from abroad, an English teacher, is very important. It's very important, yes, but very expensive and time consuming. So they want to make sure that they hire a person that is not going to leave. So anything like that, experience abroad, traveling, put that on there, because it's very important. It's a good look. Okay, I think that's all about the resume. So let me look at the comments. I think Sam had a question here. So Sam says, could you please explain what a CELTA certification actually is? So yeah, great question. CELTA is something that we hear also a lot about in our industry. And CELTA is actually a brand name, basically. It's a brand name of a TEFL certification. So it's a type of TEFL certification from one specific company. So it is also a TEFL certification. It just has a different name because it's basically this one institution's brand name, so to speak. So I think there's also online CELTA courses or in-class CELTA courses, like TEFL courses. There's online TEFL courses. There's in-class TEFL courses as well. So it's very much like that. It's just offered by one specific company. So yeah. All right. So what did we talk about? We talked about, what was the first thing? Already forgot. Number 1, get TEFL certified. Step 1. Step 2 was choosing the destination where you want to go to, and then you prepare your TEFL CV or resume, and then you will apply for jobs with that resume that you prepared. All right, Jing says, applying abroad, are they concerned on age? Are they concerned about age limits? Some places and countries do have age limits, and you can also see this on the sheet that I shared. So I'm just going to pull this up again. As you can see, this last column has information on age restriction. So most of the time, as you can see, it's under 65, under 55, under 60, or none. So typically, or here's even 52 in Myanmar. So it depends. If you're not older than 50, you should not have any issues, or in many cases up until 65. So again, you can refer to the sheet, and then you'll find the age limit information on there as well. So once you have prepared your resume and you know where you want to apply to, you apply for jobs. And you want to apply to as many jobs as maybe possible, or as many jobs as you want, not just one, right? Even though the demand is very high, but depending on what country you choose, it might be more competitive than others. So that's kind of how it is. So all of our course grads from ITTT, they get lifetime job assistance. I just wanted to mention that. That means we will do our best at ITTT to help you find a teaching job in the country, in the place that you want to go to. And even if you take a course now and then you come back 5 years later and you're like, hey, I want to teach in Argentina now. It's like, yeah, okay, we will help you do that. So that doesn't expire, and it's good to take advantage of because we do have relationships, networks with different TEFL employers, with schools all around the world, with TEFL recruiters, all of that. So we have access to a lot of job offers that are not advertised anywhere else. So that's what you will get from us. And then, of course, you should also do your own research, right? You can find positions on online job boards. And we actually at ITTT on our website, we also have a job board. So, for example, if you go to teflcourse.net, and then you'll see at the top it says jobs, you can find advertised jobs there as well. And other places where you can find English teaching jobs, of course, are LinkedIn, right? The ESL Cafe, Jubal, there's so many other ones, ESL Base, Glassdoor, The Guardian Jobs, etc., etc. There are a lot. If you just Google TEFL jobs, teaching English jobs abroad, you're going to find so much. So that is one way you can do it. You can apply to these online jobs that are advertised, or you can also go through a EFL recruitment agency worldwide. So we actually at ITTT, we partner with a lot of TEFL recruiters and agencies. So you can also get that information from us, of course, because we work with reliable recruiters. And then they are usually industry experts in their region, in their area, and they will know exactly, the kind of schools that are looking for somebody like you, and they can arrange this between the school and you. And also good to know, a recruiter does not cost anything for the teacher. So you do not have to pay anything to a TEFL or English teaching job recruiter. Nothing at all. The school pays the recruiter. So that's also something you can totally take advantage of. You can do that. And I always recommend do a combination of all of these. Take advantage of your lifetime job assistance from ITTT, but also look at job boards, also use a recruiter. And then the last point here is independent job search, which kind of is also looking at online job boards. But also what you could do, you could just pick, if you're like, yeah, I really want to go to Barcelona, you could pop up Google Maps Barcelona and then put in English language school, and then you're going to see everywhere in Barcelona where there's English language schools, and you can just email them your resume and say, hey, here I am, do you have any vacancies? And you can also do that, for example. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's a good conversation going on between Crystalline and Sam, so that's nice. Cool. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we took a TEFL course, we chose our destination, we built our resume, and then we applied for jobs. And then of course we got the job. Oh, and this is also real quick more about the ITTT job support that I just mentioned. It never expires. And so what that means is you have access to our database of potential employers, what I mentioned a couple minutes ago. You also get exclusive leads on unadvertised jobs. You get advice on constructing a resume or CV. You get also advice on writing cover letters, and you get assistance with planning out trial lessons for job interviews, because that's kind of the next point. After applying, of course, you would be invited to a job interview, and then a lot of times they will actually ask you to teach a little bit and have you show them your teaching skills. So you might have to prepare a little trial lesson, and that's also something that we can help you with. And cool, bonus tip. Let's jump into that as well. So something also I mentioned kind of in the beginning, but take advantage or take advanced and specialized TEFL certification courses, like the Teaching English to Young Learners and Teaching Business English courses. They will really help you and kind of also boost your resume more if you don't have any teaching experience. You can also do volunteer teaching. That will boost your resume. This is something you can do in your own community, or, you know, if you're like, hey, this summer I'm going to go to Mexico, I'm going to go to Costa Rica, I'm going to go to Africa, any country, and do some volunteer teaching. And then you can put that also on your resume. So that's very useful to boost it if you don't have teaching experience. Then another point is online teaching. That's also great for helping with the teaching experience side. A lot of people do that. Actually, they complete their TEFL course and then they start online teaching before then they actually go abroad to teach. That also really boosts your resume as well. And then also joining online forums and Facebook groups for networking can be a really, really good thing. You can find a lot of information there. And also, and I mentioned this, I think, in the last couple of live sessions, to be honest, because it's true and it's really what's happening. A lot of times these Facebook groups, and what I mean by that is, for example, English teachers in Korea, English teachers in France, or something like that. There's tons of Facebook groups dedicated to this stuff. So if you join that, if let's say you want to go and teach English in Korea, you join English teachers in Korea. And a lot of times people, there's a huge turnover rate, right? Every term, every year. So some teachers, they only stay for a year and then they change or they switch schools in Korea. They move to a different city, etc. And what they will do oftentimes, their school will just be like, hey, can you post this job in this group on Facebook? Or if you know anyone who wants to apply, who wants this job, just let us know. They just want to kind of take the easy way when it comes to finding teachers sometimes. So a lot of Facebook groups, teachers will just post, hey, I'm leaving in September and my school will be looking for my replacement. Here are the details and you can apply. And this is usually the first step. So they will do this first and they will not advertise this anywhere else. And then if they don't find anyone from this initial search, then they will post their job offers someplace else. But a lot of times these Facebook groups are really the first place where they share these job offers. And it's also really good because you can ask this teacher, hey, so how's the school? How are the co-teachers? How's the management? You can kind of feel it out. So that's a really good way on finding a job as well. Just a little tip from me here. And then just a little note about these specialized courses, because I think I didn't have a slide up for those specifically. So yes, we have 3 specialized courses at ITTT. which are the certificate in teaching English to young learners, the certificate in teaching business English, and the certificate in teaching English online. And they're all priced the same, $199, but with today's 30% off code, they're only $139. And if you choose any of these course bundles, they will be included in the course bundles. So for example, this first one here, I hope you can see this. I'm just going to make myself maybe even smaller so you can see this bigger. But the first one here, 170-hour course. This is for people who want to teach English online. So this is the 120-hour course, the standard course, plus the 50-hour teaching English online. And this is the discounted price for today. And then the 220-hour master package, something we mentioned before, which I think is the best course you could take. And I took this course as well. Again, this is the 120-hour course plus business English plus teaching English to young learners. So I love that one. And with today's 30% off, it's only $244 US. I think that's a really good price. And then I also wanted to pop on here the 550-hour expert diploma package course. This is the highest level course package that we offer at ITTT. Includes pretty much every course on the website all in one. So if you're like, I want to teach English abroad so bad, forever, for many, many years to come, I want to be a head teacher, I want to be the best, this would be the course to get to really be ahead of the game. So just mentioning that. There we go. And this is how you can find ITTT online. And then we're going to open up Q&A. And like I said, this is, again, the QR code that you can scan for 30% off. And I'm also going to share the link in the comment section for you guys, again, for somebody who tuned in now. So you can copy and paste this link here. Looks like this. And this will get you 30% off as well. So, and then I am ready to take your questions. And I see Ray has a question, so I'm going to take that. Ooh. Ray, question. Let's say if you don't have any teaching experience, will it matter to have teaching experience? Let's say if you want to start off teaching online, or do you need a big resume for teaching English online? I would say it's exactly the same. You do not need to have any teaching experience to start teaching English online as well. How I would do that, because there's kind of two ways. To teach English online, right? One way is to go through a platform. There's tons of platforms out there. You might already have done some research and be a little bit familiar. And they will basically connect you with students most of the time. They will assign students to you. Or if it's kind of a teaching marketplace, you will have your profile on the platform and students can browse and they can pick and have you as a teacher. Those are two ways. And then the other way is where you're completely independent and you basically have maybe your own website and you have to find your own students and you do this completely on your own. In that case, when you're doing it completely on your own, some kind of experience doesn't hurt, because when people look at your website and you have nothing to show for, you don't have any experience, you might not even have a TEFL or TESOL, they're like, well, I don't know if this is the right teacher, right? But so what you can do is start out at a platform where they assign students to you and gain experience that way. And then you can switch over to independent teaching, perhaps. At least have, a TEFL TESOL certificate, and you can also have that on your teacher profile. So that's also going to boost it. But yeah, definitely. And teaching English online nowadays is completely common and super common for a lot of people who don't want to go abroad, or you want to go abroad, but you kind of want to do the remote working thing. So you want to travel, but you want to teach English online at the same time. A lot of people are doing that as well. And if you're totally new to this, you don't have any teaching experience, you can also do that. Hope that helps. Great question. Good. All right. Next question. I'm still going to be here a couple more minutes, so don't be shy and ask away. I need to check up on this conversation that Crystalline and Sam are having in the comments later on. I'm going to need to read everything. But looks fun. Well, just going to put this banner up so everybody knows what's up. You can ask me your questions about TEFL, TESOL, teaching English abroad or online, whatever you want to know about, and I'm going to answer them. Okay, Sam has a question for me. Where are you planning to travel to next? Yeah, so right now I'm in Germany, and I do have a couple of trips planned. Some of them are in Germany, and some of them are in Europe. I don't know if I should tell because I didn't go yet, but I'm actually going to an island soon. An island nation, maybe? Does that make sense? I'm going to tell you when I'm back, I think. I don't want to give it away, but you can guess. You can guess. Okay, and Crystalline says, what is a delta? I think a delta is similar to a Celta, that it is a brand name for a TEFL course, but I would have to do more thorough Google search exactly. So if anybody knows exactly what a delta is, let us know. But yeah, it's also a type of TEFL certification. Okay. Well, this was a really, really good chat, and I hope you guys found it interesting and maybe it inspired you to finally take that step to teach English abroad, especially with today's discount, 30% off. Okay, Crystalline says, wait. Linda, wait. Okay. Okay, Jing says, yeah, that's also I'm afraid on, since I don't have any teaching experience. The certificate of teaching practice recognition would be help. Thank you. Yeah, so that would help as well. And I should have mentioned that as well. That's actually a good point. So the certificate of teaching practice recognition, the CTPR, is basically good to add on to your 120-hour TEFL certification because it is a bit of practical teaching certification. So that is definitely good to have. A lot of times, some employers, they do want to have practical teaching practice experience before you apply. So in that case, the CTPR would definitely help. Definitely a good course to look into as well. Yes. Martin says, hey, Linda, does the discount code expire? It does not expire, no, because TEFL, TESOL, teaching English abroad is a big decision, and you might not be able to just decide right now which course you want to take. So it does not expire. You can save it. I recommend saving it and then going through the website carefully and then figuring out, which course is best for you and for your goal. So yeah, it does not expire, so please save it and then use it when you're ready. But just make sure you use it, because if you don't, you're not gonna have that 30% off. So that's why save it somewhere on your computer, on your phone, and then when you're ready, you can use that and make the final application for the course. Okay, Crystalline says, Linda, do you know any more information about the teaching areas in Vietnam, like visa information or anything? Visa information, really the best place to look into those things are the official websites. So I do not know exactly if they have, a teaching visa, or I believe it's a work visa, or I think they call it a business visa. So you'd have to check that out. But usually, the schools, they will help you get that. They will walk you through the process, and they will be there for you and help you with the visa process normally. So definitely get that information from like the official sites, the embassy sites and things like that. But then the employer, there's something also to ask your employer during the interview process, because they should know exactly which visa you need and how to help you, how to get it, because they usually need to do things at the embassy for you. So don't worry too much about that. But if you're in an interview and you ask that question and they don't have an answer, that's a red flag and you should walk away. That's all I would say. Okay. All right. Amitava says, Linda, Delta is the acronym for Diploma in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Yeah, so it's a TEFL diploma, basically. TESOL diploma, which we also offer at ITTT, but it's not called Delta because, again, Delta is kind of the brand name for this other company. Okay, Ray, last question. How long would you recommend me to teach online while gaining experience, where it will be enough to boost my resume with experience to teach English abroad? Well, there's no wrong or right answer to this. There's no fixed number for this. I think you will probably know yourself once you've taught a couple of lessons online and once you feel confident in your teaching abilities. I think that's when it's the right time. Once you're like, okay, I've taught 6 months now, I taught a year, and now I feel like, oh, I can do this, and I can do this abroad, I can do this in a real classroom, and then it's the time. It might also be just 3 months or 4 months. No one can answer this question except you once you've done it, right? That's what I would say. Mariam says, do I have to be a native speaker to teach abroad? No, non-native English speakers can also teach abroad. It just depends on where. So some countries, some employers, they only accept native English speakers, but there are also countries where you don't have to be a native English speaker. And again, this sheet would come in very handy. It also has the information on here. Suitable for non-native English speakers, yes or no, and you can refer to that as well. In the beginning of the stream, if you rewind, if you go back to the beginning, I shared a link to the sheet and you can get it, and then you can see that information. Okay. All right, I think I am gonna say goodbye soon. Maybe one last final question if anybody has one. And if not, we're going to say goodbye. And I really appreciate you guys being so active today in the comments. Oh, Mariam, I missed that. Mariam says, I have just joined, so will you please say the name of the certificates I need to teach abroad? So I'm going to share that. I'm going to show you the slide. How about that? Where is it? That was here. 120-hour TEFL course. That would be a good one to start with. But I'm going to share the link with you in the comments as well, so you can have a look. Here. With the 30% off discount code included, so you can have a look. These are the course options. And generally, the 120-hour course is the minimum, and then everything is on top of that. So there we go. All right, and Sam says a question in German, if the next live will also be in the evening. The time depends on where you are. It's not evening time for me here, so it's just evening time where you are, Sam. I'm not sure yet when the next live will be. That's why down here, don't forget to like and subscribe. On our Facebook page, you're going to find the information when our next live will be. And then you can join. You can always watch the replay as well, of course. But yeah, that is that. And then I think I'm going to say goodbye now. So let's see. Martin says, one great advice for us aspiring learners, soon to be teachers. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that that was useful today. And I really appreciated all of you guys being so active. That was really cool. And I hope you guys learned something. And I'm going to be back next week. And if you're watching this later, you can still leave comments under here and we will get back to you. So don't worry. And I'm going to... Mohammed Derza, I hope I'm saying that correctly, says, thank you so much. It was amazing. Thank you. Crystalline says, this was fun. This was fun. Amitava, guten Abend. Good evening. Have a good evening. Thank you. All right, guys. Then I hope to see you all again next week and we repeat this. It was a fun chat. And then actually next week, because it will be the first Friday of a new month, right? It's going to be all Q&A. So we can do only Q&A, only you guys' questions and my answers. So that's going to be fun as well. So please join. Don't be shy. And then thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good night, Crystalline. And then I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.